This is the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 297 of This is the G Podcast. Yes. What's up, y'all? We're your weekly recap podcast, news, politics, pop culture, the T. Make sure you're following us on Spotify. This is the G Podcast. If you haven't done it, make sure you do it today. And man, today's a special one, man. We're doing something very different today.
I've arrived. I'm on the G Podcast.
I'm sitting down with the man I've known for 30. It's got to be 30, man. I've known
at least 30.
At least 30.
At least 30 years. Absolutely, man.
True veteran, man. Hip-hop legend in the ATL and beyond. Fresh Party, we'll talk about that in a few. Did the sports desk with Mike and Carol in the morning. Man, he's a jack of all trades, marketing specialist, doing everything. My man, the one and only Dangerous D. Y'all give it up for him, yes.
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed.
Now, I have arrived. Because I've been asking you forever, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, D, I'm going to call you Dangerous D, man. So, D,
that works.
Talk a little bit about, man, your journey, man. Columbia High School is the spot where it all started for you, right?
Yeah, man, back in high school, I started my own little radio show at Columbia High School over the intercom. I called it the HS Morning Show. And so I did sports, and I would, travel with the football team, travel with the basketball team, do a lot of interviews, and then do a report every morning, which led me to WIGO, where I started working with Mike Roberts and Mitch Faulkner and Chico Renfro Jr., the God. Chico, of course, was one of my mentors from a sports standpoint, and got a chance to travel with Chico, going through the high schools. So sports is my background. And from there, from WIGO, I was lucky enough to be hired by Ray Boyd at V103. Mike Roberts also played a lot in that role. And then obviously when Ray left, Mike became program director. And then, once I finally started working at V103, my first big thing was doing the Fresh Party, which was the first hip hop show in Atlanta, according to the records that I know.
Yeah.
And so from there, Fresh Party led me to being sports director, with Mike and Carol in the morning, and the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, well, I'm here to tell you, man, if you grew up in the A, and most of the people who grew up with you got to be, in their 40s or something like that, I'd say.
50s even, yeah.
Yeah, 50s even. And if it was all about the Fresh Party, man, and Sharon Showcase.
Dude, I get people, I'm in Macon now. I even have people that come to me here in Macon, saying, I grew up listening to you, the Fresh Party. I ran into a guy the other day that told me that he actually has an old cassette with some of the Fresh Party on it, and I got to get that from him. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
I get it all the time from, Macon. I'm in Griffin a lot, and obviously, my home, Decatur, Atlanta. So yeah, man, Fresh Party for life. Right.
And before we wrap up, you're doing something special. We're going to get to that. I want you to just kind of give people a heads up that you're doing something special to commemorate your years in hip hop, man. Because I look at you, when people talk about hip hop across the country, they talk about, BLS, Red Alert, Mr. Magic, all these guys. You like the guy. I mean,
that's what's up. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
For the ATL and radio, you're the guy who put, hip hop to the forefront, for a lot of young people who grew up in the ATL listening to it. So kudos to you, man. I'm gonna give you your flowers, bro.
I appreciate that, my brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, man, but the reason I brought you here, though, because I know your sports. I remember you having your credentials.
That's right, man.
You still got your credentials, man?
I still do, like the bigger events. I'm not really in the locker rooms like I used to be, but yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl, obviously, with us on championship weekend for sure.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And speaking of that, we're going to get to that too. I want to get your picks because as we tape this, we're doing a special episode the Friday before the big AFC Championship and NFC Championship. So I want to get your insight into that. But I brought you on, man, because you grew up in the A. You're an ATL legend. You know all about ATL sports. You covered it. This Matt Ryan hiring as president, first of all, I don't have any issue with that. And I don't want to get into my thoughts until I hear what you have to say, but a lot of people are upset about the Kevin Stefanski hire. Can you give some clarity to why they might be upset and if it's justified?
Well, I think, first of all, we're talking Atlanta.
Yeah,
so
let's talk it.
Atlanta is a culture, and there's no way around that. And that culture includes Deion Sanders. That culture includes Michael Vick. So, I think a lot of ATLians, they look at the Stefanski hire and they see a guy that they feel like has done Deion Sanders' son wrong, whether that's true or not. I don't think it is, but from a culture standpoint, that's how ATLians are going to feel. And I would imagine, with Matt Ryan making this decision to bring in Stefanski, a lot of those same people who felt like Michael Vick is a better quarterback than Matt Ryan now feel like Matt Ryan is doing the Atlanta fan base a disjustice. And I think, and a lot of people, and I hate to say this, but I think, for a lot of people, it's really becoming a bit of a racial thing, to be quite frank with you.
Yeah, and I mentioned, the whole Matt Ryan thing. Matt Ryan came in. It wasn't his fault that Vic got popped. He wasn't here.
That's right.
So candidly, when you look at the Falcons, and you were there, you watched the Falcons, the rise and fall and rise. The best record, the best statistics fall under Matt Ryan while he was here.
Absolutely.
Now, Vic was definitely exciting, but, Vic was preempted by what? We want, the dogs.
Absolutely.
My thing about this is it takes away, in my opinion, D, from the true thing that I see is Stefanski's record. And, his true, productivity, man, when he was in Cleveland as a coach. When they first started, and I'll just say this, and I want your thoughts on it. When they first started the search, I wrote down, hey, everybody but Stefanski.
I got a text from you that indicated as such.
And the reason for me, even though he's won, which amazes me, Coach of the Year twice, and a lot of people are saying it's not his fault that Deshaun Watson was brought in. And it's not the whole quarterback situation is not his fault. How do you feel about his record and his success or lack of it in Cleveland, man? How do you feel about that?
Well, what I would say is my first choice for the next head coach for Atlanta was Clint Kubiak of Seattle.
Yeah.
I think they did have some initial talks with Kubiak, obviously, but, with Kubiak and the Seahawks still in the, run to get to the Super Bowl, I think they felt like they had to make a move to secure somebody with some experience.
Yeah. Who's been a head coach.
Yeah, right. I don't think that it would have been a good idea with Matt Ryan being a first-time president of football operations. And then it's looking more like Ian Thompson, the assistant GM at Chicago, may end up being our general manager.
And he's a brother.
He is. I don't think
he's black.
Right. I don't think that it would be a good idea to have a first-time president of football operations, a first-time head coach, and a first-time GM. So I think, and then the other thing, I think Matt Ryan and Stefanski, they've got some history together. I think they're both from Philadelphia. I think their families, have some ties together as well. And to be honest with you, I think that Matt Ryan had decided that he wanted Stefanski all along weeks ago. When he first probably started talking to Arthur Blank about this job. Now, Kubiak probably was certainly an option, and they had an initial conversation with him. But when Harbaugh got snatched up by the Giants, I think that really kind of put a little pressure on him to say, well, you know what, we better snatch up Stefanski before somebody else snatch him up. Now, that being said, as far as his coaching ability, I know that he was 8-26 the last couple of years. But as you previously indicated, the guy is a two-time coach of the year. And those type of coaches don't grow on trees. That being said, and I think I've said this to you a couple of times, to me, it doesn't matter who the coach is. If the quarterback situation is not right, you're in trouble. So his job is going to be to come in here and fix the quarterback situation. And it's really up in the air as to whether Michael Penix will be ready or not at the beginning of the season. So there's going to have to be some decisions made. And the only way Stefanski is going to win over the Atlanta Falcons fan base is by winning, and he's going to need to do it quick.
Yeah. What's your expectation, or what do you think will win the fans over? What should he do year one? I mean, not the actual things or the technique or anything like that, but when you look at the number of wins this upcoming season.
And to your point, winning cures all ills, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
I would say 10-7, and you got to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I don't think 9-8 is going to get you in the playoffs next year. I mean, it did this year. But, I mean, the NFC South is still the NFC South. It's still a very winnable division, although the Panthers showed a lot of promise this year. And obviously Tampa Bay isn't going anywhere. And even the Saints, with Tyler Shuck, I think they found their quarterback, to be quite frank with you. So the NFC South is not going to be an easy division to win, but it's still a very winnable division. Again, a lot of this is going to depend on Michael Penix, whether or not he's ready, and what the backup plan is if he is not.
Yeah, because I'm hearing, I heard when he was initially hurt, Penix, October. No,
absolutely. I've heard that it could go into the season, maybe 3-4 games. And then, even with that, with his, trying to come back from the injury, who's to say that there might not be a setback along the way?
Yeah, I agree. Let me ask you about this whole Deion, Tim McCarver, because I want to say this, because it's, well, I don't want to just jump to the fact that it's wrong. Okay, but I will say I want to bring this up because people say, well, how did this whole Deion Stefanski thing even get in the atmosphere? And there's a legend, or people are putting out on the web. They put out on the web that
Stefanski's wife, right?
Tim McCarver is Stefanski's father-in-law, and if anybody remembers, even if you don't remember, ATL Braves back in the 90s, back in 92, Deion threw water on then CBS analyst for baseball, Tim McCarver, who was a former baseball player.
That's right.
In the locker room, because Deion's mom heard that McCarver was criticizing him for being a dual sport athlete. He was playing with the Falcons, and flying back to play with the Braves. So Tim McCarver was highly critical. So, Deion admitted, I think later on Dan Patrick's show, that he did it. Yeah, he did it because of his mom. He did it because his mom said, hey, this guy is talking about you, blah, blah, blah. Deion's like that. You and I work
Absolutely.
with him. Deion doesn't forget nothing. He forgets. But my whole point to this is the narrative is wrong first. And Deion, he's a grown man. He can speak up and let a fan base or his friends and, here in the ATL know whether or not, he wants you to support. So he can speak up. So can Shedeur. I do think the whole Shedeur thing with, I think the playlist, his playbook being on his arm, falling off, and the whole controversy, it became a quarterback controversy because Shedeur came in and played well. But I think it's much ado about nothing, because ultimately it's going to come down to him winning. Winning, Stefanski winning.
Well, and there's a narrative out there that, that Stefanski did his best to help the black quarterbacks that have been under his tutelage succeed. I mean, you can look at Teddy Bridgewater.
You say he has not done his best?
Right, compared to some of the white quarterbacks like a Sam Bradford or a Kirk Cousins or a Case Keenum, and I think Cam Newton was the one that kind of put it out there,
Well, here we go again.
Right, the whole narrative of Stefanski just not being a culture guy as it relates to black people. And, I don't buy that for 1 second. But, again, at the end of the day, Stefanski is going to have to win. He's going to have to win quick, or the Falcons are going to be right back in the coaching market in a couple of years.
Yeah, I agree. Because one of the things I do want to mention to you, and you can see it, Daron, these teams aren't patient.
No.
Anymore the way they used to be. They give a coach, 4 or 5 years to come in. I don't see that anymore.
The days of Mike Tomlin and Harbaugh and the run that he had with the Ravens and the run that Tomlin had with the Steelers, those days, I think, are over, bro.
Yeah, and you talk about the analytics, man.
Right.
They don't need the gurus.
Absolutely.
I mean, they don't. I mean, nobody cares about the gurus coming in with their methods. No, because they come back with the analytics. And
I
tell
think
you,
probably
yeah.
the closest now that you have to coaches that would be able to make a run like that would be a Sean McVay with the Rams or Shanahan with the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? Guys like that, because they've been with those organizations a few years and they've won, Super Bowls. So, yeah, absolutely.
And even Shanahan is in the hot seat.
He is. Absolutely, he is.
Yeah. Hey, man, speaking of the hot seat, this weekend, AFC Championship and the NFC Championship. And I know you do picks. I know you out there. I know you.
I do.
You do your thing. So for this audience, man, I want you to do your best. Let's look at the NFC first. All right, Seattle and the Rams. Who do you see and what do you see?
I will tell you, for most of the season, I felt like the Rams were the best team in the NFL and that they would win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But as we sit here today, I am leaning towards the Seattle Seahawks. I feel like the Seahawks are the more complete team. The Rams have been a little shaky of late. I mean, they've been really battle tested too, though. They've had like 7 road wins in their last 9 wins, so they've been doing it on the road. I mean, they had a tough battle with the Bears last week, obviously. And Seattle, I mean, I just feel like Sam Darnold has really come around. I mean, obviously.
Can you believe we're saying this?
I agree, man. I mean, what he's been with, 5 teams in the last 8 years?
Yes.
But I think his redemption story is real, bruh. And I think that Sam Darnold and the Seahawks will beat the Rams on Sunday night in Seattle. I mean, let's not forget that crowd in Seattle, man. That's a dangerous place to play. I mean, you saw what they did to the 49ers the other night. I mean, it was like the opening kickoff and a puff of smoke, and it was over, bruh.
It was over.
So, and they call it the 12th man for a reason. I mean, Seattle has always been considered one of the toughest places in the NFL to play, and that has not changed. But again, I just think that Seattle, they found a running game. I think they have the best defense in the league. And as long as Sam Darnold doesn't lose the game, I think Seattle will be in good shape to win on Sunday.
Man, it's funny you mentioned the 12th, what they call it, 12th man.
12th man, that's right.
Beast Mode did he was doing Thursday Night Football.
That's right.
And they did, an analysis of the sound in there and how loud it is.
And the decimals were like.
It was off the chain. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like this.
And then they feed into it. They put the little decimal thing up on the scoreboard.
Yes.
And come on, dude. They're trying to get every bit of energy out of that crowd that they can, and they do it. They make it happen for real.
They went to an earthquake company.
Right.
And checked around the stadium to check like a seismograph. So it's going to be crazy. You're right. AFC Championship, man, Broncos and Patriots. Classic.
Wow.
I just don't. Hey, let me say this. I hate Sean Payton. So let me get that out there.
As a Falcon fan, I think we both do, because we've seen that Joker pull some antics. I remember the choke on the side. Yeah. We have not forgotten about that.
He's in trouble. But I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah,
why.
I would say this. I would say that New England should win this game.
Okay.
But that being said, I think that Denver's defense is good enough to win this game as well. I think Drake May has shown the propensity to not be able to hold on to the football in the last few games. I mean, he's fumbled the ball quite a bit. And that Denver crowd is pretty amped up as well. Obviously, with Bo Nix out and Jarrett Stidham being the guy for Denver at quarterback, New England should win this game. For some reason, I feel like Denver is going to pull it off on Sunday. I do. I look at that point spread for one thing. It's only like a 4-point spread. I mean, the Sharks know something, and I just feel like Denver is going to pull the upset, even though they're at home. They're obviously underdogs. I feel like Denver is going to pull the upset, and you'll see Seattle versus Denver in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And then the Sam Darnold redemption story will become full circle, and the Seahawks will be your Super Bowl champs this year.
Say that one more time. So we're looking at Seattle and Denver.
Seattle and Denver in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the Sam Darnold redemption story comes full circle. The Seahawks beat the Broncos 34-20 in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Can't
There
wait.
you go.
But the amazing thing is Vrabel, what's his name?
Grable, yes.
Turning
Mike Vrabel.
around the Patriots.
Yeah, and again, I mean,
How much time has he had?
I mean, to be honest with you, Tennessee should have never fired him. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sure if they had to do all over again, they would not. It's just something about Vrabel, man. He brings a culture to the locker room, and obviously he played for New England, so he knows that building. So he was able to go in there and, just instantly turn them into a Super Bowl contender. And I think the Falcons actually interviewed Vrabel, back, when they interviewed Raheem. But I think it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to go to the Patriots, though, obviously with him being a former Patriot.
And I'm here to tell you, I'm glad you mentioned Raheem. A lot of folks are kind of salty about Raheem being moved on, fired. And quite frankly, I wasn't in agreement with the initial hire. Just even because of the interim stint he spent with Atlanta. It just kind of was, he didn't show promise there. Then they went out and hired Arthur Smith. And then to bring him back, I think it was a bad move. So hopefully, man, the Falcons are on the right
I will say this
going forward. Yeah.
It felt right when they hired him, largely because of the pedigree of coming from the Rams. I mean, he was the defensive coordinator of that team that won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. And just the whole idea of having a black coach and just his energy, it felt right. It felt right. But again, I think some of the decisions he made, bringing in a first-time offensive coordinator, a first-time defensive coordinator.
Jimmy Lake and
I think that proved his demise. And I will say this: I don't like the idea of Stefanski bringing, Tommy Rees?
Tommy Rees, yeah.
But the fact that Stefanski will probably be the one calling the offense anyway, I think it's probably not that big of a deal.
Well, let's see. We will see.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, before we wrap, I do give people a heads up. You've got something coming up. You're working on something, again, to commemorate the Fresh Party, the hip-hop legacy, your hip-hop legacy in the ATL. Can you give them a little bit, kind of a taste
So
of what
yeah,
might
real
be
quick,
coming?
I'm working on a documentary. I mean, obviously, anyone that knows me knows that sports is my passion, but the Fresh Party is my legacy. So, and I've been, starting to get my flowers, doing, different podcasts and, that type of thing. So, I felt like, I need to tell my own story. So I've started started the work on it, be working on it this year, obviously thanks to, a lot of folks like Mike Roberts, Ray Boyd, and some of the people that helped, put me in a position, to do the Fresh Party. I'm going to be talking to all those guys. I mean, I appreciate your help over the years as well,
Oh, man, it was fun.
But yeah, man, we've started work on it, and hopefully I'm planning to launch it at the beginning of 2027. So we'll work on it this year.
Good
And
stuff.
it's going to take a lot of work, but yeah, man, we got to get the story out there. And thank you for allowing me this platform today. It's been long overdue, and I look forward to doing it again with you, my guy.
Hey, man, you gotta come back for Castropolis, man, and do your pick podcast. Come on now.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna call you out on the show.
I like the way that sounds, sir.
You have an open platform, man.
That's
Just call
what's
me.
up.
Let me
That's
know.
what's up.
Let me know when you're ready, man. Sports is hot, dude. Sports
Hey, man.
is massive right now.
That's right.
Y'all give it up for the one and only Dangerous D, Daron Fears, man. Thank you, brother.
I appreciate you,
Come on
man.
down. I know you're gonna come on up here and get some snow. Because
Hey, man, believe it or not, it actually snowed in Macon last weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a lot of snow, but I saw a couple of snowmen being built, so it was a little bit of snow. I mean, I think this is gonna be more ice though in Atlanta, so man, I'm trying to stay away from that.
Oh yeah, we know about that too, man. You grew up in the A when the ice storm came through.
Absolutely.
You know all about it.
All right, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
sir.
And let me say, don't forget, y'all, scan the QR code on the screen. Our logo, social media, all that's there. All of that's there. You can go to castropolis.net, catch the podcast. If you have any comments, you can speak up on Daron's picks. Go to the castropolis.net. Leave your message on the People Poll. Give him a shout out. Spotify followers, you can go there and leave comments as well. Again, thank you so much, Dangerous D, man. We will be back with our full cast after this quote-unquote storm. But we'll be back next week with more news, politics, pop culture, and the tea. And with that, y'all, episode 297, getting closer to 300, is in the can. Y'all have a great week. Peace. Power to the people.
You've been listening to This is the G Podcast. And This is the G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.